2 of our rondo here, talking about high blood pressure. It's one of the number one things that I see in my office. It's what's called the silent killer. And I just wanted to just talk about it just for a few minutes, just to give you a few tips. Talk about it, things that people can do to help with their blood pressure. It's something that a lot of us will either experience or have a family member or friends who have high blood pressure. So, first of all, what is blood pressure? Well, blood pressure is basically the force or the force of the blood that's coming from your heart through your arteries. It's that force and the lining of the arteries in the body. And the arteries carry all of the blood throughout your entire body, which is important for, all your nutrients, oxygen, and whatnot. And so it's very important. But when it's too high, that's the problem. So when we talk about blood pressure, the top number is where your heart is actually contracting or squeezing. That's called systolic blood pressure. And then the bottom number is called diastolic blood pressure, and that's when your heart is actually relaxing or in diastole. Both of them are important. So if one of them is high, if the top number is high and the bottom one is normal, then it's considered abnormal. And then if the top one is normal and the bottom one is high, it's still considered abnormal. Of course, if both of them are high, then, of course, you're considered to have high blood pressure. Just one time is generally not going to diagnose you as having high blood pressure, but if it is extremely high, and if you have what we call in-organ damage or failure, like to your kidneys, your heart, or your eyes, then, or even your brain, like a stroke, then of course, that is considered high blood pressure. But generally, we like to get several different readings on your blood pressure. So when a doctor actually checks it in the office, sometimes it can be elevated from white coat hypertension. So we like to check it at home. So a great way of having it checked is to have your own blood pressure cuff that is calibrated, that is a reliable tool that you can use, having it checked on a regular basis. What I tell patients is to make sure that it is normal, or make sure that it is as optimal as possible. Make sure that you're seated. Make sure that your feet are on the ground, level. Make sure that you're calm. Make sure you're not just rushing in, because that could, falsely elevate your blood pressure. Make sure that maybe you haven't had anything to consume in terms of alcoholic beverages, tobacco, coffee. So you want to check your blood pressure at home on several occasions. And if we do find that it's high, and normal blood pressure is generally less than 120/80. That's the standard that I go by. If it's a little high, 122/82, it's not too bad. But when we start seeing numbers that are greater than about 135 for the top number, which is, again, that's systolic, and then the bottom number greater than about 85, that's diastolic, then we start being concerned. So, and the treatment can be numerous different things, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So what can cause high blood pressure? Again, being nervous, coming into the doctor's office, and that's one of the reasons why, like I said, we like to actually have it checked at home or in other settings, or check it on a regular basis when you're, nice and calm. So being stressed, having a very salty diet can actually increase your blood pressure. You can also have higher readings because of genetics. If it runs in your family, that can increase your risk for it. Having kidney disease can increase your blood pressure. Having a condition called sleep apnea can also make you predisposed to having high blood pressure. Being overweight can increase your risk for high blood pressure. Also, if you are a part of certain groups, African Americans, also Hispanics, and Native Americans tend to have higher rates of high blood pressure. If you smoke, and then also if you consume alcohol, that does increase your blood pressure as well. just a little something kind of fun and funny is that, believe it or not, black licorice can actually increase your blood pressure. Yes, black licorice. So probably hold off on the black licorice when you're going to see your doctor and having your blood pressure checked. So high blood pressure is not just, the condition in and of itself, it's what it can cause. So it leads to a higher risk for strokes, heart attacks, congestive heart failure, and kidney damage. So we really want to avoid all those things as much as possible. Oh, one other thing that can increase your blood pressure is just aging. Yes, aging. Certain medicines can actually increase your blood pressure as well. Things like steroids, what we call NSAIDs, or especially taken for long periods of time, like ibuprofen, Aleve, at high dosages, can increase your blood pressure. And so what can you do about high blood pressure, with this silent killer? Well, of course, we know about the medications, but a lot of people want to know what can they actually do that can help their blood pressure naturally. So losing weight, of course, will, help to bring down your blood pressure readings. And in that, I do advise following a healthy dietary regimen. Low sodium or low salt foods, having more fruits and vegetables and whole grains in your diet actually are beneficial. Also, what helps is regular exercise. Now, I'm not telling you to go and hike up the Himalayas or run a marathon, but just walk. That's one of the basic major things that people can do. Sorry, my dogs are having a little bit of fun here, so. Max, sit and stop. Sit and stop. They want to see my blood pressure go up. So Max and Grace are having a little bit of fun. Okay, so where was I? So your diet, exercise, getting enough rest actually does help also. And I mentioned sleep apnea. Treating sleep apnea actually will help you with your blood pressure. And part of that treatment can be if you're overweight, losing weight. And if you are prescribed a CPAP machine, actually using the CPAP machine and actually, using it on a regular basis and making sure that you're getting an adequate night's rest on the CPAP machine is very important. Also, some other things that will help you to control your blood pressure are things that help you to deal with stress reduction tips. And I have a whole nother show where I'm going to talk more about stress reduction tips. And actually, a stress reduction tip is having a pet, but right now I'm having some problems with my pets. They're having a little bit of disagreements. Anyway, so those are just some different tips that you can utilize to help with your blood pressure if that is something that is a concern. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that we can in some way help you to reach your goals in terms of optimal health and wellness. And I appreciate you watching me, Dr. Giovanne Rondo, with Gobile MD. That's GOBILEMD. Look me up. I am on Facebook. I have a website at www.gobilemd.com, and I would love to take the journey of helping you to optimize your health. Thanks. Have a great day. And remember, great health is worth going for.